I've been quiet for a minute. I've been grinding, still in it. I've been counting these digits. Excuse me. I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't.
Hey there, Knuckle News fans. Susan Cingari here with Dave Redneck Mundell, who's got a big fight coming up in Marbella, Spain. All right, so I got to ask you, what's in the water up there at that training camp? You got Jared, Warren, you got Crystal Pittman, you got Ryan Reber, J.R. Ridge. What the heck?
You know, it's just, we're just a bunch of like-minded people who just like to grind away. So we just out there, we work, and we love it.
All right, enough about that. Now we're going to talk about you. So you've got a big fight coming up in Marbella, and you also have a change of opponent. Let's talk about that.
All right. You know, as a lot of you guys know, I was supposed to fight here in Miami tonight against King Mo. It was undisclosed on why he had to pull out of the fight. We were looking for a replacement. I learned this when I was out in Mexico, and then the next morning they announced that I was fighting over in Spain, in Marbella, Spain. So I was super excited about that because it was the original fight that I was gunning for. It's going to be in a bull arena. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be bad. It's going to be like some gladiator stuff back there. I'm fighting the UK champ now. I'm not impressed with his work, and I think I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make it nice and easy.
It's interesting what you just told me. Why are you not impressed with his work?
There's just levels to this man, and I'm just at a higher level.
So what is the strategy, without giving away too much before the fight finish?
No, it's, you know, it's hard to sit there and say we have a strategy because it really depends on what Danny Christie comes out. We seen him come out and be timid, and everything's, he can dictate what he wants me to do. If he wants to rush in there and make it a dogfight, we can make it a dogfight. If he wants to try to box me, I can box him. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he's going to have to worry about me, and I'm just going to wind up being the bigger problem.
You're southpaw. He's orthodox. Explain to the fans how that impacts the fight, in case we have some new fight fans that may not be aware of what that is.
It's for the fans who don't know what that is. It's just how we stand. I stand with my right leg forward. He stands with his left, which means both of our lead hands will be on the same side when we're facing each other. As far as problems, you know, maybe different angles and stuff, but if you're throwing a punch from your left side, it's still coming from your left side, so I don't pay too much mind to it. But I seem to frustrate a lot of people with my angles, and I don't think that really matters with what hand's coming at him. I just think that my footwork is above his.
What are you going to be doing specifically to prepare for Christie? How will you change your routine up? Because I know you guys train like maniacs up there.
Listen, I train all my camps the same. You know, I go out there, I sharpen my skills, and I work and I grind, and there's nobody who's out there that can outwork me. I guarantee you that.
What about the fact that this is a super big fight? You know, today we found out that the BKFC fights will now be on DAZN, and you got Conor McGregor there. Oh, wow, in a bull ring. Any nerves?
I don't really focus on that stuff too much. I'm one of the guys who I show up, and every time, no matter what the venue, I show up. That's it. I show up and I show out.
How do you do that, though? I mean, you're undefeated since 2021. All right, clapping here, fans. Undefeated since 2021. You know, I had a chance to corner Yuli Diaz at a fight recently, and it was very interesting for me to be backstage. What's it like for you to be backstage, waiting for the fight to go on?
It's a roller coaster of emotions, man. I don't care what anyone tells you. We all get nervous. We're all human. But like I said, I signed up for this. I know why it is I want to do this. I remind myself of that. I get out there, and again, I perform.
What's your prediction on how the fight will end?
I'm going to KO him.
I like that. You know, I feel like, no disrespect to you at all, because I've been covering the sport for 5 years, and I need bare knuckle therapy. But I feel like the turning point for you, as far as fan recognition, was your big win over Mike Richmond. What are your thoughts on that?
I think my biggest, I wouldn't even say turning point, but just like it started the knockout streak was against David Simpson. Hats off to him. You know, he came out and he was the first person to actually push no matter what, and he went out on a shield. But from there, I've been on a tear, and here we are, and I don't think anything's going to change.
So Marbella is 22 hours away from South Florida, and then you got to take a bus to the bull ring. When will you get there?
I'm actually going out a little bit early. I have my flight set for October 2nd. I want to get acclimated to the time change, and we're just gonna be grinding out there. It'll be all weight maintenance at that point, so that's what I have planned.
All right, time for some really important questions.
Let's get them
The
going.
fans want to know these things.
I doubt it.
What would you be doing if you were not a fighter?
I'd be fishing my off, going to the beach, hanging out, drinking beer, feet in sand.
But what kind of fishing? Are you casting?
I'm a Florida boy, so I grew up catching snook, redfish, trout, tarpon, and my new love for diving has been out there. I'll shoot some grouper, hogfish, all the above.
You get hogfish?
I get it all.
And you haven't invited me?
Never.
I'll bring the beer or the liquor. You gotta do this with a spear, right? You gotta have hogfish with a spear, no?
Yeah, we dive down there.
Oh my God, it's the best fish, you guys. You've got to try it. So, what other people in your gym do you think have made the most significant impact on you, influence-wise, in excelling in your career?
Martin Brown and Jihad Wingfield. When I first started out as an amateur, I was working with some people. I wound up fighting against somebody who Martin was cornering and immediately knew what was, something was up and I needed to know what was going on. From there, I went over, I started training with him. He introduced me to Jihad, who's been my boxing coach pretty much my entire professional career, and he's brought me all the way to here. So between those two guys, I owe a lot.
When you look back on your career and you see all these wins since 2021, it seems a little surreal. Did you ever think you'd be standing here waiting to go to Marbella, Spain, with Conor McGregor and the Zone at the fighting in a bull ring? Does it seem surreal to you?
Yes and no. I knew I had the skill set, and I was just waiting for everyone else to get on board.
All right. What advice would you give? And folks, we get asked this question a lot. Many people want to be a bare knuckle fighter. It's not as easy as you think. So what advice would you give to an aspiring person that wants to get into the sport?
Listen, this is not an easy lifestyle. If you want to do this, it's everything. I started fighting because I thought I would train a couple hours a day and be able to fish the rest. It was the biggest lie I ever told myself, and that's okay because I'm living it up. I love this and if you want to do it, make sure you're in it for the long haul.
Good advice. Before we go, Mr. David Redneck Mundell, any friends, family, sponsors you'd like to thank, sir?
I just want to thank everyone who supports me, everyone who comes out to the fights, everyone who tunes in live. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
All right, so for Bare Knuckle News, I'm Susan Cingari, and this is
Redneck Mundell.
And remember, and I mean remember, fight fans, no one beats us to the punch.
Boom.